Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listener review, and boy am I excited about this one. It is Joe Lynn Turner and his new album, Belly of the Beast. Man, I am like a huge Joe Lynn Turner fan. I absolutely love this guy. I don't care what people say about him as far as being commercial and making Rainbow commercial and all that stuff. Rainbow, he's the reason I love Rainbow. He's the reason that I got into Rainbow. And I went back and I heard all the Dio stuff. I was pretty young when, I was listening to that stuff. Bent Out of Shape was actually the album that, I just fell in love with. I mean, looking back, it's probably not the greatest Rainbow album, but I heard, that album, the whole thing. I used to listen to it front to back. I had it on vinyl, and I just would listen to the whole thing. Absolutely loved that album. Of course, then I went back and I heard, the Stone Cold. There was actually I think it was on MTV or Much Music, one of the two. A friend of mine had cable because, I think I've gone over that before. My parents didn't have cable growing up, so every time I got to see this cool stuff, it was always at somebody else's house. And he had taped it on, I don't remember which one it was, but it was a concert that they had done before this came out. This Bent Out of Shape had come out, and it was just, had Stone Cold, and I remember Mistreated being on it, and he was singing some of the old Dio stuff on it, and Richie Blackmore smashed his guitar all up and all that stuff in it, and I was hooked, man. I was like the biggest Richie Blackmore and Joe Lynn Turner fan, and I just followed him in everything he's done. I even went back and got all the old Fandango stuff, which is okay. He's definitely done a lot better since then, but man, I tell you, this was highly anticipated for me. So I've gotten all the solo stuff he's done. I can't even name it all. He's actually sang on so much stuff I honestly can't remember all of it, but none of it, in my opinion, is bad. Some of it's better than others, but nothing's bad. This is probably going to fall actually into that category of nothing's bad, but it's not the best thing he's ever done. So, sorry to break it to you, but it's good. I just, like I said, nothing he does is bad, not in my opinion. This kind of break down what I like to really think about it, because it's definitely different, but it's only different for him. And what I mean by that is he's got a new producer on this. It's really strange because I got this off of Bandcamp, and because I'm on Bandcamp, so I like to support other musicians on Bandcamp. When I found out he was doing this on there, I thought, okay, that's a cool way to get something, but it doesn't give me any information at all on who's playing on this album. I have no idea, and I can't find anything anywhere on who's playing on this. So if somebody got the hard copy of this, man, I would love to know who the musicians are, because I cannot figure out who it is playing on this. All it tells me is that he hooked up with this, and I've gone to his official webpage. I've gone, aside from going out and buying it, my local record store, really is not very good. I don't want to say they suck, but they're not. They kind of do. So I'll get that into my Avantasia review. If you like the Avantasia, you're gonna want to hear that review, because I got something to say about that record store. But anyway, getting back to this, the only thing I can find out is that he hooked up with this producer, Peter. I'm going to say this wrong. Tajgren. I don't know. I have no idea. From the band Hypocrisy or Pain, or it doesn't really tell me much information about this at all, which kind of bums me out, because I love knowing that stuff. Maybe I won't be getting stuff off of Bandcamp anymore if I can't get all that information. But anyway, it sounds great. The first 4 songs, Belly of the Beast, Black Sun, Tortured Soul, Rise Up, all are heavy. This is definitely the heaviest solo album of his he's ever done. He's sang on some other heavy stuff, but this is the heaviest solo album he's ever done. That doesn't necessarily mean it's all the best stuff he's ever done. Unfortunately, there's really nothing new on those songs at all. They're cool. I really enjoyed listening to them, but it was just like nothing I haven't heard musically before. So I don't know. This because that producer was apparently, the only thing I did find out is he co-wrote 6 of them. This doesn't tell me which 6, so I don't even know. It's kind of bumming me out that I really don't know much about this, having paid for it. Because a lot of times I get this stuff, promo or whatever, but this one I wanted it, so I got it myself. I don't know, it doesn't tell me anything, but those songs, they're good. Nothing really changes up at all until we get to the 5th song, Dark Night of the Soul, which I thought was a little twist. It's a little bit slower. It's singing a little bit differently on that one. It's got a cool, catchy chorus. Everything's catchy. It's heavy, but it's one thing about Joe Lynn Turner. He actually is able to remain accessible. He actually has that. He can be gritty, and he can have that pure. A lot of this he's been singing grittier. I mean, I guess he's 71 years old, so you can expect to hear a little bit of that in his voice, but I'll tell you what, the range is still there. He's not missing anything, that's for sure. I mean, he's still hitting all the notes. Then you get to Tears of Blood, same thing. Nothing much really special happening on that one. Now, when we get to Desire, that Desire was like a breath of fresh air on this album. Because, like, the first 6 songs, good, but nothing really stood out as just amazing. Now this one, I'm not gonna say it's amazing, but the guitar part and the style was unique. I hadn't heard anything really quite like this from him, or really from too much of anyone else. It's definitely unique. It's got a weird kind of ambient type sound to it. Not really too ambient, but you'd have to really listen to it to understand what I'm saying. But it's a different tone to the guitar, which I thought broke things up a little bit. And this is the first time I really hear him singing in a couple of places, and doing some things I never heard him do before. He actually, lets his voice break at one point, which you don't hear him do too much. And I thought it was cool that he left that in there. He actually does that on one of the other songs too. I think it was Fallen World, if I remember right. Yeah, he actually just lets the voice break, and I was like, he doesn't usually let that happen, because it's a vulnerable thing, but if it's controlled, I think it sounds cool, and it sounded controlled in this. And it starts out a little bit lower singing and builds, and it's got some vocal things going on that I'm not used to hearing him do. I thought that was kind of cool. Don't Fear the Dark was also a good song, a little bit different than the rest of the album. And then we get right back into Fallen World, track number 9. Quite honestly, when it started, I thought, is he redoing a Marilyn Manson song? Seriously, it was like it had that feel of like The Beautiful People. And then it changes up a little bit, and nothing really much happened in that song. It wasn't, even the chorus wasn't all that strong. It was kind of the weakest song on the whole album, actually. And then, Living the Dream was a decent song. That's another, mainstream rock type sounding thing. And it ends with Requiem, which is kind of like a mid-tempo, I don't know. I think it was supposed to sound epic, had some cool keyboard things going on in it. And, it just kind of ended on an So, overall, I guess I'd have to rate this around a 7, just because musically it was a little bit, I don't know, boring. I hate to say that, because I know I'm going to listen to this like over and over, but just nothing except for maybe Desire really, really stood out as being something new and original. Really like the way he sang on that one. He sings great on everything, don't get me wrong. His voice is just still one of my favorite rock singing voices. So, he could sing the phone book and it would sound good. Unfortunately, some of these songs were basically singing the phone book. So, that being said, I'm not gonna not listen to it. I'm not gonna, bang on it too much here and saying too many bad things about it, because that's still Joe Lynn Turner at the end of the day. So I really, if you guys have any idea who it is, somebody out there bought it and has the the actual hard copy of this with a little bit more info on who's playing on it, I would really love to know who these players are. I think it's just strange that they don't have any of that information anywhere, not even any, because I read a few reviews of this building up to this, and I can't find anything. It's just strange. I just never run across this before. So yeah, I can't wait to hear who it is that's on this. Now I'm asking for info on this one, but it's still worth listening to. I mean, if you're a Joe Lynn Turner fan, you're still gonna enjoy it. So I did enjoy it. So I was just hoping for maybe a little bit more originality, but at the end of the day, didn't get it. But we still got Joe Lynn Turner singing his butt off. So tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.